Hi, today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends series Blink from the Build-A-Figure for Caliban line. Now, this of course did come with the leg for Caliban. I will be putting that up on eBay in the next few weeks because I'm not collecting this whole line. And because I have Jubilee as well, you'll be getting the other part, I think, unless I want to create this weird Venom meets Strong Guy meets Caliban meets Apocalypse figure, which would actually be kind of cool looking. But ignoring that, Blink. Blink is one of the more obscure Marvel characters. Now, growing up in the 90s like I did, I grew up as an X-Men reader. And Blink was first introduced, the 616 Blink that is, in the Phalanx Convent during the Generation Next segment of the storyline. She was a young girl who couldn't control her teleportation powers and apparently died at the end. And she was, since then, brought back in the 2000s as a servant of Selene and then joined the New Mutants. And now I believe she's a member of the current S.w.o.r.d team. She doesn't, in the 616 universe, there isn't much really to talk about. She didn't really pop out again. She was dead for almost 15 years or so. But on the other side, the Age of Apocalypse. Now this was epic. This was a miniseries in the 90s. If you read comics, you've heard of it, I bet. But it was this whole alternate universe where Xavier never led the X-Men. He had died, and now this team was put together by Magneto. And one of the characters that they focused on was this teenage girl named Blink, who was Sabretooth's apprentice. She was a Jubilee to his Wolverine. And she has probably the second most badass moment in that entire miniseries, or crossover event rather, where she takes on Holocaust by herself and just eviscerates him. Granted, he reconstitutes himself, but other than that, there's only one other scene I can think of that even tops it. And she just immediately stood out, and people were, I remember, I want to say I was either in 8th grade or a freshman in high school, and we were all talking about how much we wish that Blink was still around, that she would somehow have survived. And then these miniseries came out that had her do just that, and then she joined the Exiles, which was this multi-universe team that would go through and try to fix universes, and she became very, very involved and fleshed out. And she's definitely, I have a thing for female characters, and she just stood out. I loved how she looked different. She had the pink skin and the glowing eyes. She's in the Days of Future Past movie that Singer did, and she has a small part. And she's also on the show The Gifted, where she's played by an Asian actress. In the comics, she comes from either Bermuda or the Bahamas, if I remember right. She's also a descendant of Apocalypse, and because of that, she has some potential to be this really cool background character and bigger character than she is. So she's part of that clan along with Chamber and a few others. Her ancestor is actually a very important part to the miniseries Apocalypse vs. Dracula by Frank Thierry. But that's enough on the backstory. I had this original Blink figure that you see here on this side when I worked at Toys R Us years ago. I had since lost them. I found this on eBay recently. I had loved this figure in college. The base has a suction cup, so I would stick it to random things, and she would, of course, be popping out in her Blink portal. She does come with some accessories, so let me go ahead and grab her. The base, like I said, it opens. You can open it, you can pose her, it has her so you can have her coming in and out and teleporting from place to place. Head moves, arms move, legs can go forward and backward, but that is about it. This backpack, of course, doesn't stay on too well. It does come with 2 of her throwing daggers. She also has a cape accessory, which I can't get over her head. And I don't remember if I could with the original either. But this figure, when I originally got it, like I said, I loved it just because I could post it and pose it in weird places. And then when they did the first original Marvel Legends lines and they came with the cool bases, it was very similar to that. And, you know, like the Daredevil one I had this thing where you could screw it on the wall and he'd be like looking down from a church, stained glass. And Wolverine had the dojo. But this is the original Blink figure. Now, I did just get this off eBay, so it's not my original one. She does come with a stained ass, and I have a feeling that has to do with her base. I did get a second one of her, but it fell apart, and I'm just going to leave that one alone. But yeah, this was really cool for the time, because of the fact that she was an obscure character, which was what that whole Marvel Wanted line was. It was her, X-Man, and then some characters that only appeared in the Trial of Gambit. But it's enough about her, because we want to talk about the Marvel Legends figure. Now, as far as what to talk about, there isn't really much, because it is just what you're getting with Hasbro these days. So if you have the Ghostbusters line, or Star Wars Black, or Transformers Red, you know what to expect. It's a highly articulated figure, lots of knee bend, lots of articulation, and posability. And she does come with this skirt that you can move and make her look dynamic. She does come with these throwing daggers. They're made out of the same plastic as the blast effects for the Transformers, so I won't be keeping them out because they do ruin the plastic if they're there a long time. But let's go ahead and take a look at that head sculpt. It is gorgeous. Now, she's only supposed to be like a 15, 16-year-old girl, but this might be the Exiles version where she's aged a little bit. But I mean, just that head sculpt is just beautiful. It is very lifelike as far as a toy can get, with the exception, you know, the hair is solid plastic. But otherwise, it is fantastic. I do love that she comes with the pink daggers versus the silver ones. And that was a cool thing about Blink, is she could teleport by throwing these at you. Like, she could basically, if she hits you with it, she can teleport you or part of you away, or she could set up all these cool little portals. Her only other accessory is this circle, which is basically just like that green one from the other one, except she doesn't really attach to it, but it does give her like a base and helps her stand up so that you can put her in poses and make it less likely that she is going to fall. Pull out there just a moment. But again, if you have a Marvel figure, if you've seen Marvel figure, you know what to expect at this point with Marvel Legends, as far as articulation goes. So I'm not really going to talk about it, but this is something for those of us who grew up in the 90s. She's fantastic. She looks great. I'm going to have to find a place to put her on the shelf. Again, I love it, and thank you for watching. Hit like, comment down below, hit subscribe, do what you want, and I hope you have a fantastic day.